development of Lagos, but also the spirit of commerce and partnership that the Lagos International Trade Fair has birthed and represents. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to recognize the presence of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, as he is ably represented by Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, who is represented by the Managing Director and CEO of Tafawa Balewa Square Management Board, Ms. Lucia Shitu. And on that note, I'd like to crave your indulgence for us to please stand up as we take the national anthem. Thank you very much. You may please be seated. I was saying earlier that it brings me great pleasure to introduce and recognize the presence of all our guests, our distinguished dignitaries and esteemed guests seated here today. And very quickly, I would like to recognize the presence of the former Minister of Information, Honorable Alhaji Lai Mohammed. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. A round of applause, please. I also have the Director General, Advertising Regulatory Commission of Nigeria, Dr. Lekan Fadolapo. Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize the presence of the Assistant Director of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Fatima Omonike Miyaki. Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. I would also like to recognize the presence of the Registrar General, CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussein Ishaq Magaji, SAN. That said, who am I not to recognize the presence of my employers? I'd like for us to put our hands together because I have seated here the President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON, and his elegant wife, Chief Mrs. Adebola Olawale Cole. You're welcome, ma'am. Join me as I recognize the presence of the Deputy President of the LCCI, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, FCA. It's good to see you again, sir. I also want to recognize the Deputy President, LCCI, Knut Uvmoren, FFR. The BOT Chairman and past President of the LCCI, Chief John A. Odeyemi, MFR. Olori Dr. Mrs. Onikepo Akonde, CON, two-time Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and past President of the LCCI. You look radiant as always, ma'am. I have the pleasure to introduce Honorable Mrs. Toki Mabogunje, the past president of the LCCI. Nice to see you, ma'am. Mrs. M.R.A. Adeleke, OON-OFR, Honorable Life Vice President, LCCI. You're welcome, ma'am. I also have the pleasure of introducing Pastor Biodun Tawede, Honorable Life Vice President, LCCI. In the same vein, I have the pleasure to introduce Shade Babentum Young, Honorable Life Vice President. You're welcome, ma'am. I'd like to introduce to us the Vice President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Prince Abimbola Olashore, FCA. I have seated somewhere in this hall, Engineer Leye Kukoluyi, the Vice President, LCCI, and Chairman of the Trade Promotion Board. Please join me as I recognize Yeye Adenike Shobajo, the past Vice President, LCCI. A round of applause, please. Mr. Olumide Adekunle, the past DG, LCCI. Dr. Chinjere Almona, FCA, the DG, LCCI. I'd like to especially recognize the presence of all council members present in the hall. Please, a round of applause. All ESCO members present, I recognize you. And all Trade Promotion Board members present. Thank you very much, everyone, for gracing us with your presence. Now, the list of dignitaries has not ended because this is an event that commands a lot of respect. And for that reason, the next set of recognition or names that I would be recognizing, I'd like for you to please put your hands together as I recognize the Ambassador of Cote d'Ivoire to Nigeria, Abrenacho Martin. He's represented by Monsieur Ramani Majidi. I'd like to recognize the presence of the Japanese ambassador to Nigeria, Masunaga Kazuyoshi. You're welcome, sir. Francois Nkurigoma is the first secretary of the Rwanda High Commission and is representing the High Commission here at this event today. Thank you so much for coming. This event is tagged the Lagos International Trade Fair, and we would be doing nothing if we do not have the support of the Lagos State government. On that note, please, a beautiful round of applause as I recognize the governor of Lagos State, His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is powerfully represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am. I'd like to invite for the welcome address the President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON. Please, a round of applause as he takes the mic.
Well, I will want to start by recognizing the presence of the Almighty God here in our midst, because with him, all things are possible. If not for him, we will not be here today. So he's the first on my list of protocol. That's the Almighty God. Let me here acknowledge our sister, the boss of the TBS, who is here representing the minister and minister representing Mr. President. I hope you all know that the whole cabinet is busy in Abuja since the 1st to today. There's a retreat in Abuja. That's why I can hardly find any ESCO member anywhere to be present. They all give apologies that they have to be. Today's the closing ceremony, the closing date of the retreat in Abuja. All we can do is to wish them very, very well as they try to put together their own plans to get Nigeria to move to the next level under their tenure. Recognizing my sister, the boss of this place, I must also recognize my sister who is here to represent Mr. Governor of Lagos State. Commissioner Folashade, you are very, very welcome, welcome here. And we are meeting twice this week already. So I wish you very well in your new role. We have here quite a long list of those to acknowledge. And I have no business not doing that. But we just appeal that because we started a bit late, which is not in our character, I need to save some time. But of course, I must represent my predecessors. Before I do that, let me welcome my dear brother, friend, in-law, a friend of more than 4 decades, the former Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. I feel very highly honored that we're in our midst today. Some people have passed through these long before I came into office, and it's in our character to try to acknowledge them. Those are referred to as our living legends, our past presidents. But before I do that, Deputy President is here. They call him Mr., I call him Bishop. Bishop Idahosa. Is the one asking me to quickly finish and hand over. I've told him, Farabale, that December 9, inshallah, I shall hand over to you. Don't be in a hurry. The beauty of SCCI, unlike many other chambers, is that there is peaceful accession into office. I know many areas where it's fighting here and there, but SCCI, I want to thank our elders who have put this place in place over the years. I want to thank our first African president in 1923, Mr. Thomas of Lagos. I was the first Black man to be our president, followed by 2 expatriates. After that, it's been Nigerians taking over since that time. I want to thank him and all those after him, like Dilifa Morocco, people like Chief Akin George, Pa Shonuga, many of them, who have passed through, and some are still living and they are here. Let me acknowledge the chairman of the board of trustees of our chamber, also a past president of SCCI, and a past president of NASIMA, Dr. John Odeyemi. You are correct, sir. Thank you, sir. I also acknowledge my dear sister, I can say my very, very good friend, because we have known long before I joined SCCI. That's a chief, not chief, she's now Olori. Olori Onikepo Akode, CON. Pa Odeyemi is MFR FCA. So please note that. Only top people can get to the level where they are. I also want to acknowledge my immediate past president. And I want to thank her, because if she did not hand over to me, I won't be here today. If she's not like I did, I would not have been here. But I can show you, my brother, all shall be well. I will hand over on the 9th. SCC has a culture. My dear sister, Honorable Tokimabo Gunje, immediate past president. I'm sorry, I left my darling wife, the wife of the former minister. Please, Mrs. Lai Mohammed, please, I'm sorry. You are welcome. We have too many people here to acknowledge. Please just pardon me. Our friends from FRS, our friend from Abuja, they will have friends from the other sectors of our country, the ambassadors, high commissioners who are here, and of course, many honorary life vice presidents. Please, I beg you, I want to acknowledge you globally, all together. We want to thank God that today I can stand before you at the 2023 edition of the very popular and very respected Lagos International Trade Fair holding here. This trade fair over the years has grown to be another very important milestone in the economic life of Nigeria and the broader African continent. This year is not an exception, as we convene in this bustling metropolis of Lagos. The Africans, some say 50. I know the governor at an event we were together last week says 60. So that is the role, the place of Lagos in Africa. If Lagos are to be a country in Africa, we're told it would be the 5th or the 6th largest economy in this continent. We find ourselves at another critical juncture in Nigeria's economic history, facing substantial challenges while holding immense potential for growth and prosperity. Like I've said, that's why they are today meeting in Abuja to see what they can do to really get us the prosperity that this nation rightly deserves. I was telling the former minister, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, that it's easy when you are not in government to blame those who are in government. It's very easy. And he was telling me, well, I've passed through government, so I can speak with authority. Yes. But the truth is that it's a different ball game when you are in there. you will know that 1 + 1 gives 2. It may not be so all the time when it comes to when you're in government. Other things may play around you that will not make 1 + 1 to be 2. So please, let's keep praying for our new administration because we have no choice. This is our own Jerusalem. This is the country we own. This is the country that God has brought us to be, and we cannot change that. So it's in our interest that they should do well. And therefore, please pray for them. As they are meeting, they started from the 1st of this month. They are finishing today in Abuja, the whole cabinet, Palm 6, all of them are there. Pray for them to meet well, finish well, and act well when they finish. As we gather here, we must acknowledge the very challenging economic environment that our great nation, Nigeria, has been facing in recent times. Though some are necessary, these challenges have tested our resilience and have called for innovative solutions to foster economic growth and prosperity for our nation and for our people. What nation are you handing over to your own children and our grandchildren? At times, I feel very sad when I can recollect with nostalgia. In 1972, when I left UNILAG, I had 6 jobs. I did not leave campus. All interviews were done for us on campus in 72, before my result was even out of the university. We all had jobs. Not only UNILAG, happened to all other universities in Nigeria at that time. They will go around to the campuses and interview people and give them jobs. I never applied for any job when I left the university in 72. Where today are we? May God bring back the good old days. It says not good to say that yesterday was better. Why not? If it was better, it was better. But we know that as a nation, we pass through many phases. We are passing through a phase now. In the last couple of years, it's been tough. It's nothing new that's happening now. It's been tough in the last couple of years. But we are maturing to be a greater nation. The beauty is that we are still the greatest economy in Africa. But I tell them the figure we have now could be 4 or 5 times if we get ourselves together. And I do hope and pray that God will enable those who are there now to try and do it, to help our nation. Can we hear amen? If you love Nigeria, say amen. Because we have nowhere else we can call ours. Those of us who are in our 60s and 70s, by the time you leave this country, after a week, you want to come back. Because this is home. This is home. Now your children are no longer with you. In those days, those that went abroad will come back as they finished. When I went to England after UNILAG, I got a job in England. They paid for everything about me to come back to Nigeria. That was Nigeria then. Why have things changed? Our children now finish and stay there. May God give us a new nation that will bring all our children back to our nation to develop this country for good. In Jesus' mighty name. The theme for this year's trade fair is connecting businesses, creating value. This reflects the reality we face, and in a different sense underscores the determination of the Nigerian business community to overcome its many hurdles of existence, survival, and growth. The importance of such a theme cannot be overstated. It calls upon us to acknowledge the difficulties we face while inspiring us to seek solutions embrace new opportunities, and develop innovative strategies to foster business growth. Nigeria's economy, like many others, has been impacted by global economic shocks, geopolitical uncertainties, such as the Russian-Ukraine war, the number of successful coups and coup attempts in Africa, the war in Gaza, we all know, and the present administration's economic policy reforms. These challenges have left no sector untouched, from the impact on small and medium-sized enterprises to the challenges faced by large corporates. We have all had to adapt. We all have to adapt. We all have to innovate, and we must all persevere. Despite these challenges, we stand here today showcasing the resilience of our people and our unwavering commitment to progress. It's not been easy putting this trade fair together. Let me ask trade fair members to please be upstanding. From the chair, can we please clap for them? Trade fair members, please be upstanding. It's not been easy. Times are tough. Companies that came last year are telling us we can't afford to pay because business is bad. It's not been easy. They have to put in place strategies to ensure we still have a place we can call what we have today. For that, they did not charge a kobo more than what they charged last year, even in this time of rising cost. It's a strategy because things are really tough for business people. They did not charge a kobo more. And for the first 3 days, they leave the place open for people to come in, all realizing where we are at this time. I know that things will get better. I know that Nigeria of our wish shall come to us, and it shall be so in Jesus' mighty name. Despite all this, we must all, as we hear today, we must learn from one another and explore avenues for cooperation. Businesses here today, please don't lose hope. Nigeria of your wish is coming. Nigeria of aspiration is coming. The Nigeria that will get our youth here in this country, that when you are in your 80s and 90s, we are not thinking of who will look after me when I'm old, when I'm going. At 80, 90, it's a privilege in this country. Even 70 is a privilege. But you look at it now, most families, 6 children, they are all abroad. What happens to the old men and women who are their parents? And unless we turn the economy around for better, there'll be no change. Because they must have a future here to be here. So that's why we are here to continue to have this trade fair. For the last 36 years, we'll be doing this to keep the economy moving. And Lagos is what Lagos is, by the grace of God. It's not been easy for those who are also governing Lagos, even at a time like this. Please, I want all of us to keep praying. Please, enough of speaking evil about Nigeria. It will not help us. Enough of saying this country is gone. If it's gone, where do you go? We are too big for any country or countries to take us. Over 200 million people. Where do we go? This country must survive. And this country must do well. In Jesus' mighty name. In Africa, however, We cannot choose to deny the recent domestic economic challenges, high inflation, unstable exchange rate, and that consistent dependence on oil revenue have their headwinds that have continued to hinder our progress. Yet, the uniqueness of Nigerians is that in adversity, we still find opportunity. Lagos, Nigeria's economic powerhouse, is uniquely positioned to lead the charge towards economic strengthening as the largest city in the continent and home to over 20 million people. Lagos has consistently proven itself as a hub of commerce. Get it right, we are not Lagos State Chamber of Commerce. We are Lagos Chamber of Commerce. In 1888, there was no Lagos State. In fact, there was no Nigeria. We had the North and the South Protectorates, 1914 put together. So when Chamber was formed, there was no Lagos State. So people say Lagos State, we're not Lagos State, we are Nigeria, because we are the oldest chamber in West Africa, and no chamber existed for decades after us. That's why this year we are 135 years as a chamber. All other chambers came well after us. Over 60 years ago, we gave back to NASEMA. This place, midwife NASEMA, SCCI. The elders could have converted SCCI to NASEMA, but they were good enough to say, no, let's leave Lagos, because of the importance of Lagos in Nigeria. Let's have NASEMA to be the umbrella for all chambers. But most of our past presidents have been past presidents of NASEMA. So we are very, very crucial to this nation. We are very, very well structured. No other chamber is as old in West Africa, is as big, as well structured as SCCI. So we have a duty to ensure that Nigeria gets to where Nigeria should be. We should lead this powerhouse of Lagos as a hub of commerce, innovation, and culture. Its deep water ports, its strategic location, and diverse workforce make it an ideal gateway for international trade. That is why we are here today. The Lagos State government's commitment to improving infrastructure, ease of doing business, and innovation has steadily impacted its attractiveness to both local and foreign businesses. We stand on the threshold of change as Nigeria and Lagos State work tirelessly to diversify their economies, reduce dependence on oil, and have the way for inclusive growth. The Lagos International Trade Fair is for business, entrepreneurs, and investors from all corners of the globe to convene, to converge, connect, create opportunities that drive sustainable development. We're having people from all over the whole world. They are here. You'll see them later. The fair this year provides an unprecedented opportunity for us to showcase the wealth of goods, services, and innovations that Nigeria and the other participating business entities and countries have to offer, from agriculture to technology, manufacturing to the creative arts. Our nation boasts so much. Our nation's hope is so much built on the thriving ecosystem of business opportunities, housing a variety of sectors, from finance to entertainment and transportation, to real estate. One cannot discuss the African economic landscape without acknowledging the demographic dividends Nigeria holds for the rest of the continent and the global business community. Our youthful population represents a vast resource of potential labor, innovation, and consumer power. The Lagos International Trade Fair, where we are today, serves as another bridge between the potential and the global opportunities it encourages. International partners and investors to harness the energy and creativity of our youth, thereby nurturing a brighter and a more prosperous future. We are here not merely for an exhibition of products and services. It is a testament to our resilience and determination as a nation to overcome the economic challenges that lie before us. It is a declaration of our intent to harness the potential within our borders and showcase it to the world. It is also an invitation, very close to the end, to international partners to join us on the highly transformational journey. My friends, this year's trade fair is not just a platform for trade. It is another symbol of our nation's enduring spirit. Let us rise to the occasion, harness the power of innovation, and work towards together to forge a path to prosperity. I want to challenge every person here, from the smallest startup to the largest corporate, to think critically and creatively about how you can contribute to Nigeria's economic resurgence. It is through our collective efforts that we can emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before. I have no doubt. On the closing note, that with determination, with collaboration and creativity, we will overcome the current economic challenges and pave the way for a brighter future for our nation. May I hear amen? This country must not die. This country must survive, because our parents gave us a good country. If we all went to universities and we got just university, I got 6 jobs. I picked Total Oil as a accounts manager in training. That happened to all people in that range in Nigeria. Nigeria shall come back again. I'd like to express my gratitude to all participants, sponsors, and organizers who have made this event possible. Your commitment to the economic progress of Nigeria and Africa is appreciated. Together, we can rise above the challenges and unlock the vast economic potentials of Lagos State and Nigeria as a whole. For the benefit of Africa, I wish you all a very fruitful and successful Lagos International Trade Fair. Nigeria shall be good for all of us. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is the president of the LCCI, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole. Thank you very much, sir. Earlier on, I mentioned in passing, just before we took the national anthem, that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is here in the building, ably represented by Ms. Lucia Shitu, who is the Managing Director, CEO of Tafawa Balewa Square Management Board, who is standing proxy for Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite. A round of applause, please. You're welcome, ma'am. I also mentioned earlier that the former Minister of Information, Honorable Alhaji Lai Mohammed, is in the building. But who am I not to mention is elegant, beautiful Alhaja Kudirat Adeoti Mohammed, who is also here with him. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am. Another person who came this morning for this opening ceremony on the retinue of the former Minister of Information is Mr. Inyi-Oluwa Aboyeji, the co-founder, Flutterwave, and CEO, Future Africa. A round of applause, please, guys. From Lagos State, I have His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am. And also present in the hall today is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative, Trade and Investment, Lagos State, Mrs. Oshosonya Adetutu, who is represented by Mrs. Adeshino HT, that's the Director of Commerce in the Ministry. Thank you so much for coming. We have delegations from the Republic of, we have a delegation rather, from the Republic of Benin, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, all the way from Cotonou. And I especially recognize the former ambassador of Nigeria to the Benin Republic, His Excellency Ambassador Oguntuashe E. Kayode. Thank you so much for being here, sir. I also recognize the delegation from Indonesia Trade Promotion Center, the delegation from Kenya High Commission, and a delegation from Equatorial Guinea. Thank you so much for gracing this event. You're very, very welcome. That said, I'd like to invite for a goodwill message the ambassador, Japanese ambassador to Nigeria, His Excellency Matsunaga Kazuyoshi. Please, a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes up. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, as I am based in Abuja, so let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Kazuyoshi. Kazu means job in Swahili language in Tanzania, where I was posted 10 years ago. Yoshi means good in Japanese. So I'm literally Mr. Good Job. So I hope I can make a good job by demonstrating that 33 companies all the way from Japan are attending this fair. But today, I would like to lend my name, Good Job, to the government of Lagos and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry for organizing this wonderful event. Thank you very much. Nigeria has enormous potential, economy, population, natural resources, the growing human resources, and rich culture. The international community is now paying close attention to the potential of this country more than ever. To truly achieve the economic growth in Nigeria, trade and investment play an indispensable role. They serve as the catalyst for job creation, higher productivity, capital access, learning and innovation, and expansion for technology spilled over. So in this context, Lagos is the gateway to attracting foreign investment into Nigeria, and the Lagos International Trade Fair 2023 will be a distinct showcase of the momentum for growth through trade and investment. Ladies and gentlemen, Lagos is the most exciting commercial hub of Nigeria. Nigeria is the most robust economic hub in Africa, and Africa is and will be the hub of the international trade and investment. So this trade fair exemplifies such strong tie between Lagos, Nigeria, and the international community. Japan, understanding the immense potential of the Nigerian economy, has long deepened its economic relationship with Nigeria. More than 80 years have already passed since Japan's trade office. Now, the Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, was opened in Lagos in 1939, preceding the establishment of diplomatic relationship in 1960. So today, 33 Japanese companies are exhibiting their made in Japan product and technology in the Japan Pavilion at this trade fair. So this clearly demonstrates the Japanese business are beginning to see Nigeria as the place to be. So Japan is here to work with Nigeria to contribute to its economic diversification and future growth. So taking this opportunity, I would like to inform you that the Embassy of Japan and JETRO will hold the opening event of the Japan Pavilion immediately after this ceremony, during which you can witness the Japanese traditional ceremony, Kagami Biraki. It is a Japanese ceremony to celebrate the new beginning by breaking open a sake barrel. It is a symbol of good luck and fortune. So you are all welcome to enjoy the Japanese ceremony and wide range of Japanese products beyond excellence and innovation. To conclude, may I express my best wishes for the Lagos International Trade Fair this year to again be a great success. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was quite succinct. Okay, a little housekeeping before we proceed. Please be very conscious and pay attention to your personal belongings. Be very careful. A pair of glasses has wandered away from its owner. So please check yourself to see that, to see if you're missing your glasses. Okay. Very quickly, I'd like to invite up stage for a goodwill message, the United Bank for Africa, a representative of the United Bank for Africa, banker of the fair, if you're in the hall. Okay, please put your hands together for a goodwill message from UBA. Now, on a normal day, I would never bring anyone up stage without mentioning their names. But earlier on, I couldn't confirm that he was here. So please permit me to introduce to you Prince Aiwo, Group MD, Group Head. All right, Group Head Retail Products and Sales for UBA. My apologies.
My distinguished audience, all protocols observed. I am honored and pleased to join distinguished men and women at the Lagos International Trade Fair. And this year's edition, which is the 37th edition, very fittingly characterized as small business hub. I would like to start by commending the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, for its visionary leadership in consistently hosting the trade fair, as well as creating a veritable platform for businesses in Nigeria and Africa to thrive and to prosper. It is reputed to be the largest business market in the ECOWAS sub-region, as it attracts investors from other parts of the world. I also want to thank all the co-sponsors for their strong support and the business stakeholder groups for the professional advice they offered on the initiative. Today, the vision of the LCCI has done well to transform the fair to become one of the major attractions in Africa when it comes to SME attendance across the continent. Since its inception, it has grown to become the largest trade show in the sub-Saharan Africa and has attracted both national and international entrepreneurs from over 1,600 companies all over the world. Recognizing the priceless role that SMEs play in advancing the success of economies all over the world, our bank, Africa's Pride, the United Bank for Africa, since 2019, continues not only to pull its weight behind the fair by consistently retaining headline sponsorship for this all-important event, but also provide far-reaching expert advice that empowers SMEs to go ahead and become global champions. As we have seen, with many success stories of businesses that once participated at the fair some time ago. Indeed, in developing and developed countries alike, MSMEs are among the most effective tools to empower the youth and women. They are key allies in implementing the 2020 agenda and achieving the SDGs. Yet, despite these remarkable contributions, the lack of adequate finance for MSMEs often prevents them from reaching their full potential. More than 200 million MSMEs in developing countries lack adequate financing and access to adequate capital, which is an important condition for promoting entrepreneurship, enterprise formation, sustained economic growth, job creation, and productive investment. Initiatives to enhance access to finance for MSMEs need to go hand in hand with efforts to enhance skills and know-how across enterprises, to promote research and development, and to put in place enabling infrastructure such as telecommunications, roads, power, and ports. MSMEs also need compliance support and management resources to compete globally, to be part of global supply chains, and to grow into stronger enterprises. There is ample evidence that MSMEs with high growth potential require early access to international markets in a bid to ensure their development and growth. While generally SMEs report increased international business, contrasts in recent years suggest that relative to the contributions they make to local and national economies, SMEs remain overall underrepresented in the international economy. And change in this respect is slow to happen. For example, while SMEs typically contribute around 50% of GDP and 60% of employment in national or local economies, most evidence suggests they contribute only about 30% of exports and even less of international investment. Inadequate support for MSMEs often affects youth and women disproportionately, making it more difficult for them to become successful entrepreneurs. For instance, there are significant gender differences in MSME access to finance, in particular, in developing countries. Finally, in our desire to encourage enterprises and entrepreneurship, we must not lose sight of the need to carry every single stakeholder along in our noble objective to effectively lift businesses in Africa to unprecedented heights. With our extensive spread across Africa and other major economies of the world, we are always on the lookout for partnerships, opportunities that will benefit the business environment and the economies where we operate. Also, as a leader in African trade and promotion of SMEs, we have identified the fair as a genuine avenue for both domestic and international trade. Exhibitors to promote their businesses through product launches, sales opportunities, business-to-business meetings with government agencies, while fostering international trade partnerships and deals across borders. Once again, we say thank you for your unshaking confidence in us as worthy partners and reiterate our absolute commitment to this partnership with LCCI and the growth of SMEs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great pleasure to mention that it's now time for us to take a goodwill message from the Lagos State government. And I would like you to please join me, honor the governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Honorable Commissioner of the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment. Please keep clapping. Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, all. I'd like to go through the protocol first and acknowledge the representative of Mr. President, His Excellency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the representative of the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment as well. I'd also like to acknowledge the Managing Director, CEO of Tafawa Balewa Square, the Management Board, Mrs. Lucia Shitu, and all members of the Diplomatic Corps. I'd also like to acknowledge you, and the former Minister of Information, Honorable Alhaji Lai Muhammad. I'd also like to acknowledge Dr. Lekan Fadolapo, the Director of the General Advertising Regulatory Commission of Nigeria, and Mrs. Jumoke Bamigbola, Head of Government Relations of Brit Cost Aid, Mr. Inyola Abayeji, the co-founder of Flutterwave, CEO, and the Future Africa, Ashiwaju, Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON, the President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, sir. I'd like to acknowledge you as well. The Ambassador Oguntuashe Kayode, the former Ambassador of Nigeria to the Benin Republic. I'd like to acknowledge you. And all past presidents of the LCCI here present, ma'am. The Permanent Secretary of MCCTI, which is the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Industry, Mrs. Adetutu Oluremi Oshosonya, who's ably represented by the Director of Commerce as well. Indeed, I'd like to acknowledge all captains of industry here present, esteemed exhibitors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and all. And so now I'd like to proceed to deliver the goodwill message by Mr. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, at this opening ceremony here this morning. All protocols have been observed. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am highly delighted to join you today at the opening ceremony of the year 2023 Lagos International Trade Fair, organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I am particularly glad about the chosen theme of this year's fair, connecting businesses, creating value. which speaks to the many benefits accruable when businesses connect and known fully well that no business organization can survive on its own. On this note, I commend and applaud the entire board and management of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry for your interest and foresight in organizing this great fair annually. I also congratulate the leadership of LCCI under the presidency of Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole for your passion, your tenacity, your diligence and commitment to sustaining the historical success of the Lagos International Trade Fair in spite. Please, let's applaud him, please. In spite of the economic challenges controlling not just our nation, but also the world in general. Through the 37th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair, the Chamber is providing another huge 10-day window for businesses to showcase their products and services, to gain great marketing mileage and fresh opportunity for networking with other businesses. The platform is indeed timely. It's timely, it's very strategic, and it's transformative as well, as it will further build the investment ecosystem to support more competitive investment opportunities in Nigeria. I must say that I'm very proud of the leading role being played by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry in this sector, as this fair has the potential to generate and woo foreign direct investment into our dear country and reduce the pressure on our currency. I'm sure everyone will be delighted to hear that. The need to leverage this 10-day event to drive more investment becomes more apparent when we consider the good percentage of over 70% of Nigeria's population all being under the age of 30. In addition to other variables that are critical to encouraging investors and growing the economy, some would call the youth population as a challenge to be managed. But I call it great potential to be unleashed in our dear state and nation at large. I believe it is time to do things differently in the state and indeed in our country in general to entice potential investors. Distinguished guests, I want to reassure you that Lagos State Government would continue to be your partner in progress towards ensuring conducive business environment for investments to thrive in the state. Can we applaud that, please? We are very much aware that our quest to move Lagos, our dear state, from Nigeria's biggest commercial city to become a mega smart city running on 21st century economic dynamics will depend to a large extent on our political will to effectively tackle various challenges confronting businesses, such as inadequate infrastructure, inadequate power, inadequate security, and others. So for us, we see the challenges as great opportunities for further investment, and our administration is not only working assiduously to change the narrative, we are also ready to work with willing investors to expand the infrastructure for the benefit of our businesses in particular and in our state and nation in general. Thank you. Directly, we are committing huge resources to build infrastructure that improves business operations and makes the state attractive for investment. Among what we have done in recent times is the completion of the first phase of the 13-kilometer Lagos Rail Mass Transit, the Blue Line, which extends from Mile 2 to Marina. This has been commissioned to ease the movement of workforce and goods, eliminate stress associated with public transportation, and reduce traffic gridlock, along with the productive man-hour loss in traffic. Since the tracks were energized, daily trips on this rail has increased from 12 to 54. While working I welcome all, Mr. Governor welcomes all the applause. While working towards our actual target of 74 trips per day, and we will achieve that. In addition, we're ramping up efforts to ensure timely completion of the 37-kilometer Red Rail, which extends from Agbado to Ebute Metta, with 13 stations and other ultra-modern infrastructure. The project is 97% completed and would complement the Blue Line and other modes of transportation that exist in the state. At the Lekki Free Trade Zone, our administration's partnership with the private sector is already yielding great dividends, as multi-billion-dollar businesses have been set up there. Through Alaro City, the project alone yields a joint venture project as well between Messrs. Rendeva Development Company Limited and the Lagos State Government. 230 jobs have been created just from that project alone. This is in addition to other investments which we have made and are still making, such as the 10,000 metric ton rice mill at Imota, various completed and ongoing road construction projects, completion of the first phase of the 6,000 fiber optic cable network that would expand broadband access and drop internet connectivities at homes and businesses in the state, in addition to different support to MSMEs and many other interventions. I think that does deserve another round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that the state government remains committed to providing a friendly and conducive business environment for the organized private sector and other stakeholders alike, through the continuous engagement in the implementation of policies, regulations, and projects as they impact business prosperity of the state. Again, let me appreciate the efforts of the Management Board of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry for sustaining regular engagement with our government. The Chamber, through its policy advocacy activities, has been an unrelenting partner in the business of ensuring good policy direction for economic prosperity of not only Lagos State, but Nigeria at large. I am very pleased that this has been yielding exceptional positive results. I want to affirm that my administration will continue to protect and promote the interest of investors and businesses in the state. I am confident that we will take our businesses to greater prosperity and success. God bless you all. Igbega Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe ni, thank you. Thank you very much. Please keep clapping for her. Thank you very much. While she was giving her speech, we were graced with the presence of one of the foremost Yoruba kings in Yoruba land. And I am very honored this morning to recognize the presence of His Royal Majesty, the Ooni of Ile-Ife, Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II, who is ably represented by His Royal Majesty, Oba Muraina Adebanjo Adedini Asoya of Ile-Isoya Ife Kingdom. Thank you so much for being here, sir. I also like to recognize the presence of Dr. Aderemi Alo, FCIB, the honorary Life Vice President and one of our fathers in the house. Thank you so much for being here, sir. I'd also like to recognize the Vice President of the LCCI, Sir Ladi Smith, FCA. It's nice to see you again, sir. Thank you. Thank you for clapping. All right. Right about now, I'd like to invite to the podium
for a keynote address by His Excellency President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented here by the Managing Director, CEO of Tafawa Balewa Square Management Board, Miss Lucia Shitu. Please, a round of applause for her as she delivers the keynote address of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming.
Good morning. First and foremost, let me observe some of the protocols. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ably represented by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anita. And I would also like to, So I would also like to observe the Lagos State Governor, His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. I would like to start by delivering the goodwill message on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anita. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed members of the business community, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today representing the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anita, to inaugurate the 2023 Lagos International Trade Fair, and as we are celebrating 135 years of LCCI. This annual gathering serves as a testament to the vibrant spirit and resilience of Nigeria's business community. It is even more iconic for me as the Chief Executive Officer of Tafawa Balewa Square Management Board, where this event is being held. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today with a common purpose: to connect, to collaborate, and to create value. The Lagos International Trade Fair has long been a beacon of opportunity, a platform where businesses from around the globe converge to forge partnerships, to exchange ideas, and to unlock the full potential of our economy. In today's globalized world, connectivity is key. It is through forging meaningful connections that businesses thrive. We stand on the precipice of a new era where innovation and technology are driving transformation at an unprecedented pace. As we navigate these uncharted waters, it is imperative that we stand united, leveraging on our collective strength to build a prosperous future. Value creation is the cornerstone of sustainable growth. It is not merely about profit margins, but about the positive impact we leave on our communities, our nation, and the world. As we embark on this journey together, let us all be reminded of the immense responsibility that comes with our roles as custodians of the economic prosperity. Our small and medium-sized enterprises are the lifeblood of our economy. They are the engines that power our growth and innovation. It is our duty to provide them with the necessary support and resources they need to flourish and grow. Through targeted policies, access to finance, and capacity building initiatives, we will empower these enterprises to reach new heights of success. One of these initiatives is the Presidential Conditional Grant and Loan Scheme designed to provide nano, small, and medium enterprises with access to working capital. The world is changing, and so must we. Innovation is certainly not a luxury, but a necessity. We must embrace new technologies, explore untapped markets, and adapt to evolving consumer demands. By doing so, we position ourselves not just as participants in the global marketplace, but as leaders and innovators, setting the pace for others to follow. As we all gather here today, let us not forget the potential that lies within each and every one of us here. Together, we hold the key to unlocking a future of unparalleled prosperity and growth for our great nation. Let us forge ahead with determination, resilience, and a shared vision for a Nigeria that stands tall on the world stage. In other words, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your presence here today. Let this trade fair be a testament to our commitment to building a future that knows no bounds, where businesses thrive, communities flourish, and Nigeria stands as a beacon of economic excellence. Thank you, and may this year's Lagos International Trade Fair be a resounding success for all. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade, and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, CFA. Thank you all very much, and God bless you all.
That was a speech delivered by Ms. Lucia Shitu, representing the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. I'd like to take this time to inform us, ladies and gentlemen, that the opening ceremony of the Lagos International Trade Fair is one that commands a lot of attention. And as business owners and stakeholders, it will do us a world of good to use this opportunity to form formidable business connections as this trade fair opens. Having said that, I'll be taking the vote of thanks very shortly. But please, before we do that, I'd like to inform us that there is a group photograph immediately after the vote of thanks, and there is an order so that it helps us to capture all the necessary delegates and representatives and everyone that is needed in that photograph. So, ladies and gentlemen, After the national anthem, that's after the group photograph, we'll be proceeding to cutting of tape and declaring the LITF 2023 open by the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented by Ms. Lucia Shitu, along with the LCCI President and our invited dignitaries. That said, please put your hands together as I bring up stage for the vote of thanks the Chairman, Trade Promotion Board and Vice President, LCCI, Engineer Leye Kukolui. Please, a round of applause for this man and the entire Trade Promotion Board. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I know our time is well spent, and we are here just by our byline, connecting business, creating value. On that note, the representative of our president, the representative of our minister, and the representative of ourselves, our landlord here, Mrs. That is the TBS here. You are wearing 3 caps. We say thank you very much for wearing the 3 caps at the same time and being our landlord. You have heard from our president. We are very considerate to our exhibitor, and we are having free entry into your premises here, and we don't even increase the charges for our exhibitor. And I hope that kind of a gesture can be extended to us by the TBS. Thank you very much. Our original landlord, that is the governor of Lagos State, and our commissioner, we say thank you again for being our host, because we are in Lagos. We know this is Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, but it is modern day. We're in Lagos State. Thank you very much once again. The president of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Asiwaju Michael Olawale Cole, CON, a good leader who has been leading us in the capacity as the president for the last 2 years. Thank you for the great leadership you are giving to us. Thank you, sir. And the chairman, BOT, our Baba, I won't mention who is on the 8th floor, but I have to say that because he looked more of somebody on the 5th floor. Chief Odeyemi, thank you, sir. Our deputy president sitting by his side, who I was told that he said, Emilokon. Mr. Idaosa, thank you, sir. You gave us this birthday. Our mother, who is the face of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, now the Olori in Ibadan, the face of Lagos, the face of Ibadan, Mrs. Adenikopo Akande. Thank you, Mom, for being here. My immediate president, the Turkey president, the Honorable President of Tanzania. Thank you for bringing Tanzania to the trade fair, Mrs. Toki Maboguje. I wish I can have time to mention everyone, but we have to hide under the existing protocol well established by my president earlier on. All my honorary vice president present, Baba Alon, because particularly your name was not mentioned at that time, I have to single you out at this time, sir. Another one on the 8th floor that nobody will think that is still on the 5th floor. Thank you, sir. At this stage, our sponsors, without whom we will not be here. UBA have been partnering with us for about 6 years now. UBA, thank you for being here, and we wait to see you next year. Dangote, though is in our council, Dangote is part of us, but more importantly, Dangote has been launching different products every year, supporting us. Dangote, thank you very much. We have our own people, the young that has grown, Flutterwave, the pride of Africa, the pride of Nigeria. It is very exciting that this year we have Flutterwave here. And I know that for this one, the demography of the youth shall float here. You can see that we are 135 years old. We are not as old as you think. Thank you for being here. And for supporting us for this trade fair. Money Point, your sister, they are here too. Thank you to Money Point. Federal Inland Revenue. They've shown that they are partner to the private sector. They don't just come to collect tax. They are here to make sure that business grows. Federal Inland Revenue. Thank you, madam. I can see you there. Thank you very much, man. Even the PENCOM. You see, we have all these people supporting us one after the other. Thank you for PENCOM, Stanford, and at this stage, the Japan, the JETRO, who have been in Lagos since 1955, and more importantly, they have never moved out of Lagos. They don't move out of Lagos because of Lagos International Trade Fair. And because they know that when they are in Lagos, they are in Nigeria. When they can conquer Lagos, they will conquer Nigeria. JETRO, thank you for always being with us. Oriade, láti Ifẹ̀, ẹ ṣé sà, ẹ kú dìde, ẹ dẹ̀ kú jókòó. Àwọn èèyàn mi, because I would love to speak French, but when I see the people from Benin, the only way I can communicate to speak Yoruba. Àwọn èèyàn mi láti Benin, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, ẹ ṣé o, Ambassador wa, Ògúntúàṣe, ẹ ṣé o, thank you very much. Lagos International Trade Fair for the past 37 years has been the gateway to Nigerian economy. It has been the gateway for Africa. I will only invite you, as you are here on this opening, there are new things that is happening in this chamber now. We are having the Tech Hub. We are having the African Hall. We are having the entertainment section. On behalf of our president, Achiwaju Michael Olawale-Ko, the Council of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and everyone, members, my brother, I'm sorry. We recognize you and we thank you for having time. I could remember that in Ghana, you put word into our aspiration in Lagos Chamber of Commerce. That is Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Thank you for having the time to be here at this time. As I was saying, on behalf of all the members of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry and my colleagues in the Trade Promotion Board who are hosting, we say thank you for being here, and we'll be expecting you to be with us for the next 10 days at the closing. Please feel free to connect business. We have created already value for you so that you take opportunity of the value created for this international trade fair. Thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you so much, Engineer Laye Kukuluyi. All right, we'll be moving into the photograph session, but just before we do that, please, I'd like you to put your hands together as I bring up stage for the presentation of plaques the President of the LCCI, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON. A round of applause, please. We'll be presenting plaques. You're welcome, sir. All right, can I have Miss Lucia Shitu here to receive this plaque on behalf of Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite? A round of applause, please.
As the guest of honor here today, the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite. It's my pleasure and privilege
I'm sorry, I have to bring you back up here to come and receive another plaque on behalf of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
Please help to pass this to the minister, to pass this to our friend and brother, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, CFR.
To receive a plaque on behalf of the Lagos State Governor, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, please put your hands together for the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem. A round of applause, please.
Yeah, my sister, please pass this to my good friend and brother.
All right, we would start with the order of photography now to quickly move on. Please, can I have Chief Mrs. Olawale Cole upstage for this set? Chief Mrs. Adebola Olawale Cole. That's the wife of the President of the LCCI. A round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, you do me a favor. As I call these dignitaries, could you please put your hands together? I'd also like to call up stage the representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and who is also representing the Minister of Investment and Trade, Miss Lucia Shitu. You are in this set of photography. Please, your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Can I have the representative of Lagos State Government up here? Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Midibem. Please put your hands together as I invite the former Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, and his beautiful wife to come up stage for this set. A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. President, please stay, sir. Please, can I have the pleasure of inviting the BOT chairman upstage, Chief John A. Odeyemi, MFR. Please come upstage, sir, for this next round of photographs. I'd also like the Deputy President, that's Mr. Gabriel Idaosa, FCA. All right. I'd also like all past presidents to be upstage as well. All past presidents of the LCCI. Please come upstage. Thank you very much. President, sir, please remain. I'd like to invite upstage all honorary life vice presidents, council members present, all honorary life vice presidents and council members present. Please come upstage for this next set of photography. So we have the president of the LCCI, all honorary life vice presidents and council members, please. All honorary life vice presidents and council members, please. All honorary life vice presidents and council members of the LCCI.
Okay. So let's have it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, please, presidents, while you're still staying on stage, please, I would like to invite all ESCO members,
Yeah, Momore. Niki Akonde. Momore. 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 Mama Temi Olojo.
All right, please, I'd like to invite the ambassadors and representatives representative of His Royal Majesty Oni of Ile-Ife, representatives of our sponsors, please come up stage.
Folashade.
Representatives of our sponsors,
Folashade. Momore. Folashade Ambos. Momore. Honorable Minister. Momore. Folashade. Momore. Folashade lo ní tèmi. Momore.
former ambassadors here present, delegations from Benin Republic, delegation from Kenya, representatives of diplomats and ambassadors here present. Please come up stage. Okay.
Are we good?
Oseni mi Oseni.
Photographers, are we good? All right, thank you very much. You may have your seats.
Oseni. Oseni.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Registrar General mi CEO. Corporate Affairs Commission. Ọ̀dẹ́yẹmí ló ní tèmi àtàtà. Oseni. Oseni mi Oseni. Thank you. Oseni mi o máa ṣe o. Fọláṣadé Mọmọre. Fọláṣadé Ambos Mọmọre. Fọláṣadé ló ní tèmi Ambos o. Mọmọre. Honorable Minister, Bameki Fọláṣadé.
Photographers, are we good?
Are we good? That's fine.
We're good? All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Can you please take your seats?
Bami Alo.
We still have one more thing to knock off on the itinerary this morning. Please, let's go back to our seats.
Fọláṣadé mi.
Let's have our seats, please.
Fọláṣadé ló ní tèmi àtàtà. Ambos Nigeria Navy Band ló ń kí màmá tiwa.
Please,
Àwọn
let's
gómìnà
have our
wa nílùú
seats.
Èkó.
Thank you very much.
Ọ̀dẹ́yẹmí ò ṣe. Ṣìfún Ọ̀dẹ́yẹmí mi ò bàbá tiwa lójoojúmọ́. Ọ̀dẹ́yẹmí ló ní tèmi. Bàmí Ọ̀dẹ́yẹmí ò máa wọlé.
Ladies and gentlemen, very shortly we'll be moving to declare the fair open. But just before we do that, we'll take the national anthem. So please, I need us to settle down in our seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take the national anthem. No photographs any longer, please. While the program was going on and in the milieu of the names of special guests and dignitaries that I ought to have introduced, there was an error of omission. And I'd like to crave your indulgence for a do-over with a very special apology to Mrs. Patricia Agbaku Ajegu, who is a honorary life vice president of the LCCI. Ma'am, I am Yoruba, and the best way I can offer an apology is to say Eforiji Mima. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'd like for this hall to be in pristine condition because we're about to take the national anthem. Let's rise up on our feet for the national anthem. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We would now head out for the cutting of tape and declaring 2023 LITF open by
Mama,
the President of the
okay.
Federal Republic of Nigeria,
Mabo,
as
okay.
represented by
Mami,
Ms.
Ote-
Lucia Shitu. The cutting of tape and declaring of 2023 Lagos International Trade Fair open by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by Ms. Lucia Shitu, along with the LCCI President, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON. The President of the LCCI will now lead delegates for the opening,
Baba,
the cutting of tape, and declaring open the LITF 2023.
Baba, Odeyemi ló ní tèmi o. Bamilai Mohammed Odeyemi. Má gbóhùn lẹ́nu mi, bàbá tiwa ni. Ó kí mi, má bòkùn jẹ́ mo kí bàbá tiwa. Màmá tó kí, má bòkùn jẹ́ ló ní tèmi o. Màmá ló ní, èmi ò mọ̀ o, èmi ò mọ̀. Láyé Muhammed, bàbá tiwa. Láyé Muhammed, bá mi kí. Aya síwájú ló ní tèmi àtàtà. Aya President. Lagos Chambers of Commerce. Kábíyèsí, mo kí bàbá tiwa nílẹ̀ Ifẹ̀. Tímọ́tímọ́tí Ọ̀jájá tu. Kábíyèsí ló ní tèmi, bàbá tiwa ni. Kábíyèsí, mo ní pé àìkọ́ ń bá níbẹ̀ rẹ̀, àìkọ́ ń bá ní nàró. Ọba tó. Ha! Bàbá o, àìkọ́ bá níbẹ̀ rẹ̀, àìkọ́ bá ní nàró. Ẹni ọba fi, ẹni ọba fi, ìdọ̀bálẹ̀ là ń kọ́ bá o. Tótó, àfiyèsí o. Kábíyèsí, èròjà ń bẹ lé Ifẹ̀. Èròjà ń bẹ lé Ifẹ̀.